Okay, today I'll be going over a game that TL Jensen played on Annie mid lane against Yasuo, and I had a bit difficulties with downloading it, so I'm just using a video. So here you can see his ruins, and his matchup is against Yasuo Kayn, and he has a Kha'Zix on the jungle. This is, I think, Diamond tier or Master tier, something like that. And he goes Electrocute. I think that you do that as well, and yeah. Probably just copy these runes. I already think you have them though. Okay, so let's just go into this lane. I thought specifically this matchup would be quite interesting because then you can learn. I saw that you played against where was it? Akali here, and Yasuo and Akali are quite similar in the way you have to lane against them. And I saw that you had 10 death, and obviously I can't know for sure why you died 10 times, but maybe you'll learn something from how he plays this matchup, and you can maybe apply them to your own game. Okay, so since he has the range advantage, you can tell that he's trying to poke him out a bit. Um, okay, so he's pushing the wave, which is fine. We'll just see what he has to do with the. We'll see what he's gonna do with the wave when it crashes the tower, because he's going to have to be careful, or unless he wants to get all in by Yasuo. So here he has level 2 and Yasuo's still level 1, so he can just abuse him as much as he wants. And this is something you can apply to your own games with just knowing that when you've killed your 7th minion, you will get level 2. And if you realize that he's not gonna have 7 minions killed yet, you can abuse him. Because you will basically always win trades at level 2 if he's level 1. So just like take notice of how aggressive he's playing now, because he's a level up. So Yasuo has to give up these CS, and if he doesn't, he will get chunked, like lose half his HP. And always against Yasuo, use your auto attacks to proc his passive, the shield, before using abilities. Here takes E level 3, and again just autoing him, abusing her range. Again making Yasuo not get any CS for free. Every time he walks up to get a CS, he will poke him. So it's not going to be an easy lane for him. Maybe he should have went Doran's shield. This is fine. She's crashing the wave. This is a huge wave. So in this scenario, you have two things you can do. So obviously, the ideal situation is that you can poke him under tower while he's CSing. So let's say this is your own game. You push Akali or Yasuo under tower, whatever. You can do two things. You can either punish him and poke him under his tower. This is more risky because his jungler can gank him. Or you can go ward and then go back to the lane and poke him under tower. And the correct thing to do here is always to go ward. Let's see what he does. Maybe he's a pro player, so he might not respect the enemy as much, and he knows like his limits and stuff like that, right? So he decides to play aggressive and make Yasuo lose a lot of CS. This is fine. You actually saw I don't know if you realized this, but let's see here. Look on the minimap. He noticed this, by the way, because he's a pro. You see, the little animation tells us that Kayn just took the vision plant on bot side. That means he can poke him for free under tower. And now Yasuo has to give up all these minions. But I would actually recommend you in your own games, always go ward first and give the enemy mid laner some few CS, and then come back and then poke him. Also, the thing is with that wave is that, let's see here, now he can all in you, right? Because he's close to your tower. But look what happens when he does that. Look how much damage he's taking for those minions. Those ranged minions are fucking him up. And he loses that wave even though he loses minions, and he loses the trait even though he's close to his tower, right? He's still a level up here, so obviously it doesn't matter as much when he's level 4 and he's level 3. It's more of a big difference if you're level 2 and he's level 1. Now, I think he might go either for Since Yasuo is very low HP, he can keep on pushing without getting punished necessarily. But let's say you played against an enemy that wasn't as low in HP and maybe had kill pressure on you. What you should do here is to let the wave push towards you. But let's see what he does with this wave. So what it looks like now is that he's going to try to pop a freeze. And Yasuo is backing, he's very low HP. And this is huge for him. So right now he's just thinning out the wave a bit, last hitting. Um, and he's trying to put in a freeze. Look how much minions Yasuo are losing right now. He's losing a cannon, he lost like 4 melee minions and 3 ranged minions, and this is just gonna give Jensen a big lead. He's losing 2 waves, pretty much. Yasuo comes back to lane, and now Annie has to play a little bit defensively, but he also wants to thin out the wave. Thinning out the wave meaning that he wants the wave a bit smaller so he can freeze it. Um, because if there's too many minions, he can't hold the wave and he will take too much damage. So he's gonna back off here because Yasuo has item advantage. Let's see, and the wave here is probably too big for him to freeze. You can see he could have maybe thinned out the wave more and froze the wave, but I think because Yasuo had more items, he didn't want to try to freeze it because Yasuo would beat him 1v1 right now. But you can tell he's almost 100% up in CS. Okay, so Yasuo's going for roam here and he's pinging it. He can't really do anything. He has to clear these minions under tower. So all he can do here is just ping missing. But you know, this goes really good for him because he realizes when he's stronger than Yasuo and when he's not. And right now he knows that Yasuo has more items. So he will not necessarily win 1v1. He might be up in experience, but that's not always it. So I don't play Annie that much, so I'm not really sure when he loses or when he wins the trades, but I'm sure you know that better. Right now, the reason he's trading is because he has a lot of minions again, but you see how he's getting chunked because Yasuo has more items. And maybe he's dead here. Oof, but he's not. And his support is fantastic right here because he helps him push the wave. Otherwise, Yasuo could have done the same to Jensen as he did to him, you know, when he froze the wave and made him lose like 2 waves. This is a bit risky playing, but he gets the kill because of superior support gameplay. See how much this support is helping him right now. If Maokai was silver support and he has just stayed bot lane, Jensen could have lost a lot of CS there and experience, and his lead was probably going to be gone. But this is just a big support gap. I honestly feel like support is such a good role this season, also last season as well. Now he's going to reset. Let's see what he buys. I think we saw that in the beginning of the video. By the way, in your own game, you can go Seeker here, you know, the one that gives you armor. But I think because he is so far ahead, he's probably not gonna buy that. But it's never a stupid idea to play it safe. So just buy Seekers in your own game against AD matchups. It's 900 gold, and then you can buy uh, like your Ludens or Proto build. I think this game he's going for Proto build. So maybe you can see the power of the Proto build. I'm not sure which one is the best, like Ludens or Proto build. But maybe you'll realize the Proto build is not bad either. So let's see. He's just last hitting here. And he's going for a ward. He didn't. Oh well. He has to push this wave under Yasuo's tower before being able to roam or anything at all, to be honest. A great trade here. So right now, the reason he's hugging butt side as he's standing in the what's it called? The butt side of the lane is because Kha'Zix is on his butt side. So if he were to get ganked, he would be able to run towards his jungler for help. But he's a bit far away. And oh my god, I didn't even know you could do that. So he just killed Yasuo, and Yasuo is gonna lose 3 waves again. And this lane is pretty much over. Let's see. He has flash, so he should be fine. And this is okay. So even if he killed like Yasuo and he pushed the wave, let's say you were lower in HP, right? Sometimes when you've solo killed your laner and you're very low, you're very tempted to just go back instantly. But if you have your flash up, I'd say it's worth to take the risk of just pushing out the wave, because the benefits of pushing out the wave and the amount of lead you get from that is much bigger. And a kill in itself is not that good, but if you get a kill and like 2 waves plus, that's basically 2 kills. So he has his flash and he pushed out the wave. Maybe if he didn't have flash, he would have backed off, but he tried to push for some platings and get the wave under tower, which in the end paid off. And now he is 1.2k gold up on this Yasuo. But notice how he made this lane very easy, even though a lot of people lose to Yasuo and Kaylee and Katarina and Zed and stuff like that. So in the early game, you're just poking them down and then making the wave push towards you, and then just trying to make them lose as much CS as possible. So be aware of how he's poking his enemy and using his rage advantage. So he's probably just gonna ping SS here and last hit these minions. Yasuo could roam top here. He didn't. Du kan bare tage hele tasken med ud, hvis det er. Sorry about that. Okay, so he's gonna roam now. He's just trying to extend his lead. Right now he pretty much won the lane, and I doubt that he's gonna solo kill Yasuo. So because he's so much stronger than Yasuo, he'll be able to get prio all the time, which means let's see in this situation. Notice how Yasuo is at Rift Herald and he's almost already on top lane. So he'll have like 15 seconds before Yasuo will come there, and that's what's prio, that you're gonna arrive before him, giving you like a 15-second window every time because you got ahead in the early game. So in this situation, you got a kill. Jensen got a kill on Annie. Yasuo didn't get anything. He just wasted time. You're also getting a wave here. So even though Yasuo is going mid here, Yasuo is going mid, pushing out the wave, pushing it under your tower, right? It's fine because you're just taking their top lane's wave. And it's okay for you to take your top lane's wave because notice what Fiora is doing now. She's running mid lane, taking your wave, and when she has taken one of your waves and you have taken one of her waves, you're going to trade over again and switch lanes again. Obviously, I don't think silver players will go mid. Like, if you had a silver Fiora on your team, she wouldn't go mid here. She would probably just flame you, but then just ping your mid wave and say, hey bro, I just took your wave, just go take mine. That's much more like time efficient. So he got a plating and then he's going to roam to his jungler here to help him out. And right now he's like super strong. I would recommend you to push out the wave here and then recall because you have a lot of gold on you. You don't want to die with your shutdown before you have like more items. Meaning that you actually just don't want to die because you are worth a lot of gold. What the fuck is this guy doing? NA, am I right? Heal, heal. Just kidding. Yeah, just recall here. If this was you, just recall. He's kind of trolling, but it works, I guess. But it's much more safe to just recall. And solo queue is not taking big risks. Solo queue is playing consistent every game, so doing the same thing that gets you a bit ahead and then using that lead, but without throwing it, because you have much more to lose than you have to gain from doing those plays. If he killed you, he would get 350 gold plus 300 gold, so that's 650 gold, and you would kind of throw your lead in a way. That's why it's so important not to die like as often. So here Yasuo has roamed bot lane, so you're just gonna push out the wave as quickly as possible. Um, and then you're probably gonna get some platings. Looks like he is pinging the tower or Kha'Zix is pinging the tower. This is great. Kha'Zix might pop the Rift Herald as a response. Maybe not, but they're gonna get all the platings hopefully. Yeah, he'll pop it here. Okay, so this is a good tip on what to think about when this happens. So let's say your enemy laner roamed bot lane. You feel kind of bad because you just got 2 kills and your bot lane is flaming you now. Instead of saying, okay, I roam bot lane now, you know, because your bot lane is already dead, so you're not really gonna do anything there. Then ask yourself and think about what can I do on the map that's gonna put me further, give me a further lead. So in this situation, they have 3 on bot lane and 1 on top lane. 3 bot lane, Gragas top, right? So obviously the only person that can show up mid lane here is Kayn, and Kayn has no chance on 1v2ing you. It's a 4-0 Annie. So even though your bot lane died and they got a little bit of gold, you're minimizing the lead they get from it by thinking on how to extend your own lead and what can I do on the other side of the map. So if all 5 players on their team are bot lane, think about maybe I can get to top tower, or maybe I can take the enemy's jungle on the top side, and maybe I can get some vision in the deep in the enemy jungle. Think about what you can do to minimize their gains and extend your own lead. So she's gonna probably not recall here, but she's gonna back off. I don't think he has any gold, so he's not gonna recall. He's just gonna wait for the next wave here in the mid lane. And though in this situation, Dragon is down, Rift Herald is down, so there's no reason to play aggressively. So even if you kill Yasuo, solo killed him, you're not really gonna gain anything, right? Because what are you gonna gain? At mid tower? No, it's gone. The Dragon? No, it's gone. The Rift Herald? No, it's gone. You're just gonna get a kill, and Yasuo is like 100 gold worth. So again, it's a high risk, low reward. He can probably help his support here. He's gonna blow them up, right? Boom. I thought he was gonna do more damage. Okay, he flashed here. It wouldn't have been bad to let his support die, but I thought he was gonna do more damage, to be honest. Maybe he thought that too. And there's his teleport behind him, and now he's in trouble. There are 5 on mid lane. So Fiora is just push. Right now, the thing is, you saw the teleport if you look at the map. I'm pretty sure that like not all silver players would see that like on your team. But if you just back off here, you only lost Maokai, so that's 1 for 0. But you got the Gragas teleport, and Fiora is gonna get the top tower here, right? So if you back off and no one is dying here, it's much more worth for you than it is for them. So obviously, like you have to be very experienced to know that you will benefit from not fighting in that situation. But just in general, every time they're doing something and your teammates are dying, let's say they get caught all the time, they do that all the time in silver. They're fighting for no reason in bot jungle when you're on top side farming. Think about what you can do to minimize their lead again. Maybe you can counter jungle, take his camps, go ward, push out the wave, buy a new item, stuff that make you stronger and make them gain less from your teammates' faults. He's not gonna take blue, maybe? No. Okay, so Aphelios just overextended here and he's gonna blow him up. Okay, debate. It's okay, he had Seekers, so Aphelios doesn't do any damage to him. Great. That was pretty good. So the same what's it called principles affect their team. You see how we had Kha'Zix and Annie on top lane? As soon as the enemy team saw that their 2 on top lane, they're forcing mid lane. So now they just dove Kai'Sa, which is great from them. Like they realized that because there's 2 top, let's force something on mid lane. Let's do something to make them gain like less from that play, and that worked out for them. This is constantly like the struggle of solo queue, because you do something and then your teammates does something stupid because the enemy team capitalizes on that, and there's nothing you can do about that. All you have to do is like just hope that you gain more from it, push out the wave, and I think you do. You're really like he is really fit this game. Sorry if I say you a lot. I'm just trying to apply like it so you get the mindset of what's going on. Okay, this is kind of risky, not gonna lie. Maybe he's gonna die. Yeah, you see that was really bad. Luckily, there's not uh, a major objective they're gonna lose here. If Baron was up, this would have thrown the game, and they would have a very high chance of losing. Now Kaiser's gonna go maybe throw again. No, no, she was smart. And Fiora should just kill this guy under tower. Looks like she doesn't. NA, you know. On EU, every Fiora player would have gone for that dive. Like, no hesitation, just went straight for it. Not that it would have worked, but it's because EU players are much more like selfish and um, I think they think higher of their own mechanics than they actually are. And here he's just running topside again because Kaiser is mid and he doesn't want to share the XP with Kaiser. So he takes up the wave and then he goes blue buff. And he's probably gonna go top again, push the wave unless Dragon is up soon. I can't really tell. Maybe it is. I feel like it is. Yeah, Dragon is up soon. And you want to be there on Dragon because otherwise your team will. Yeah, Dragon is up. I couldn't tell because the timer wasn't shown, but oh, it was down in the right corner. My bad. Yeah. So he wants to group up on this Dragon. They don't want to give it because right now they should win a 5v5. So there's no actual reason to give up this Dragon. They just have to fight for it. But again, it's something that you just have to like um, think about yourself. Do we even win team fights right now? And I would say you do, but it's very subjective, obviously. Okay, so they get Gragas and they get Fiora, so it's pretty much 1-for-1, and he gets caught, but he has Sonya, so that's fine. Yeah, and they win that fight. Huge, huge win. And because Jensen played this laning phase so well and got so far ahead, he's a major threat, and it just tells that Kai'Sa is strong and Kha'Zix is strong and Jensen is strong, and they have like Kayn that's strong and maybe Aphelios. And he's also like 50, 60 CS up on that Yasuo. Obviously, that Yasuo played this game very bad as well. I think it's actually quite like fascinating to me how this happens on NA. I feel like my games never goes like this. I think this is like Master Diamond Elo, but I don't think I've played against anyone that just so bad they're just gonna die like 4 times in laning phase solo or 3 times in laning phase solo. Like, was pretty much solo one this lane. That's very very like uncommon. Usually it's because jungle ganks you because of how you set up the wave and then you just fall super far behind. This is great because right now the Rift Herald is up and he's on the top side and Fiora has teleport, which means that they'll be able to fight for Rift Herald. Even though actually it's despawning now, but whatever. I don't even think they can contest. Like if they go Baron right now, I don't think they can contest anything. So if they get a pick on Kayn, it's just free Baron. He goes in. Also, Jensen went, the blue trinket here, and a good like rule is that when you're ahead and fed, you want to go the red trinket, and when you're behind, you want to go the yellow or blue trinket. Okay? Because vision denial is much more beneficial, and it's actually just honestly better if you're ahead. And if you're behind, you need vision to make sure you're not getting caught. And this is great that they turn on them because they don't want to risk a 50-50. Again, they just surrender here. Absolute banger game from Jensen. So, oh, my bad. I hope you learned something from this VOD review. Obviously, I compared it to your game against Akali, but I can't really tell if something specifically happened or you had an inter or unlucky or whatever. There's a lot of things that could go wrong, but um, I feel like Yasuo is probably like a matchup you're gonna face a lot in silver gold elo. Um, so I say the key things about this game was probably that abuse your range early game in the laning and play around levels and play around the amount of minions you have. And then again, the second thing I'd say you can learn from this game is that the enemy team does something great on bot lane and your team dies. Look for a counter trait. So look for mid tower, look for wards in enemy jungle, look for counter jungling, look for objectives somewhere else on the map with your teammates, and don't be afraid to just ping them for help. Okay, yeah, I hope you learned something from this. Okay, bye.